Hi there, my name's Eddie, and I'm talking to you about dyslexia and how it affected my childhood. Right, back to the sensible bit. My dyslexia wasn't really noticed until secondary school because then you're expected to spell. So they thought I wasn't paying attention and I was lazy. All my reports said, intelligent child, must try harder, must concentrate. Now, dyslexia, I didn't even know the word then, and the teachers certainly didn't because they just put it to the back of the class because they get frustrated, they don't know what to do. Now, I'm an artist, so I'm very visual, so I did really good in the creative stuff. When it came to the written stuff, bad. And you did exams once a year then, and it was a written exam. Before computers, no spell checks, nothing. Teachers treating you not that like you're thick, but that you just don't pay attention. So it's really important. At the age of 11, 12, when I went to secondary school, I had a lot of stuff going on in my life. I was an insecure lad. And then to be marginalised because of a condition rather than something I was doing wrong. But I got to the age of 13, and because of other stuff that had happened in my childhood, I just thought, I ain't having this anymore. I'm not having their crap because it was capital punishment. And so if I bunked off or I didn't turn up, you'd go there and they'd hit you with a cane on the handle of the arse. But it was part of the culture. And in the end, my mum used to take me to school, but I didn't tell anyone why I weren't going. I hated it. I felt marginalised, and I wasn't bullied, but I was really quite an introvert. And it's people just thought, yeah, he's just quiet. So I weren't one of the lads. I mean, I was this quiet kid. And then I got to about 30 and I thought, I ain't doing it. I'm not going to school anymore. And my mum was powerless, everyone was powerless. She used to physically take me there and I'd go in. I got 13 and he said, right, you went to get the cane, and I just went, nah, you ain't doing that anymore. And I just walked out. And he's like, I could hear him shouting, and that was it. I didn't go to school again. So I started hanging around the streets and hanging about with other kids that didn't want to go to school for whatever reason. But a lot of them were the same working class background as me. Now, the reason I'm putting this into context because at the same time, around 14, I found booze and I became a little thief because my dad weren't around, he was an alcoholic. So the people that my heroes were all the guys who had nice clothes and stuff in my area, and it happens to be Paddington, they were all thieves. But I just thought they were the coolest dudes I'd ever seen, with disregard for anything else but what they wanted to do. And it was like the Wild West in this pub called the Chancellor. And if it kicks off, it kicks off. But everybody wore the same stuff because if someone nicks a lorry load of John Paul Gaultier designer clothes, everybody in there would buy them. It was quite a cool place. But you could be as mad as you want to be, but you had to be known, or someone had to know you. You had to be known to be a bit. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I served an apprenticeship on the streets, became known as a stand-up guy. By the time I was 20, I'd already done a DC, which were brutal places, at Borstal. Then I went to YP for 4 years. Then as an adult, I did another 15 years. Now, the two advantages of being in life of crime is no one ever writes anything down. If they do, they're probably a wrong or a policeman. So, but I did a lot of education in jail, which I never did at school, because a guy recognised my dyslexia in my late 20s. He saw my artwork and he heard one of my songs. I'm a musician as well, a portrait artist. And yeah, he recognised it, and then there was coping mechanisms, and then shortly afterwards, well, about 20 years later, computers come in with spell checks, and Bob's your uncle and Fanny's your aunt. I'm not saying dyslexia led me to being a little thief on the street and all the other stuff that was going on, but booze was an addiction for me until the age of 53. I was a naughty lad. I was a thief, and those 20 years were creative years because I wasn't out chasing stuff like women and drugs and crazy ideas and just hedonism. But I've been away from that for 15 years. I'm sober 9 years. So kids are really going to be influenced. Let's recognise them and give them some help so they don't go the route I went. God bless everyone. Thanks for your time.